Okay guys, so if you haven't already got yourself comfy and seated, get yourself comfy and seated. We're going to start off with some breathing. I've been finding breathing a really great tool to help stay calm and relaxed throughout the day. So we're going to start off with just normal breathing. Just pay attention to your inhalations and exhalations. You're noticing how your chest rises as you breathe in and drops back down as you exhale. The feeling of the air going in through your nose, which is usually cool, and then out it's nice and warm. So you're just closing your eyes and paying attention to yourself. Alright, and today we're going to start a breathing exercise where you inhale for 6, hold for 6, exhale for 12, and then you continue the cycle, 6, 6, 12. So I'll take you through the first count, and then go at your own pace. If you want to count quickly, count slowly, whatever floats your boat. So let us begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Inhale at your own pace. Finish off your last round and allow your breathing to return to normal. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to start off with stretching our arms, so our fingers are interlaced in front of us. Pull your arms long, allowing your sternum to pull backwards and your arms being pulled away from you. Slowly lift them up to the ceiling, allowing your back to straighten up. And release. Now we interlace our fingers the same way behind our backs. Pull your arms away from you, lifting in the sternum, keeping your tummy lifted so you're not going into an arch, and then allow your arms to try and come up as high as they can. And release. We're going to do our other one where we take the arm straight out in front of us. It feels like it's being pulled away from us. We take our opposite arm and we grab our wrist to our forearm and start pulling your arm towards your opposite shoulder. Make sure that the shoulder stays down, doesn't come up towards your ear, and you're creating a bit of tension between your forearm and your wrist. So you should feel a nice stretch between the straight-armed scaps, but also on the bent-armed scap. Rhomboids, that general area. And release and go to the other side, your arms being pulled long away from you and then pulled across, keeping your shoulders down. And release. Shake out the hands. Up and down, round and round, get them warm, stars. And you can get ready to stand at the front of your mat. I am pretty sure you might not see me. I'm unsure actually. But we're standing at the front of our mat. I'll describe everything that I'm doing. We're coming to stand, we're rooting down in our feet, making sure that the knuckles, sides of the feet and the heels are nicely rooted into the ground while your arches are lifting up, so you're pushing down into the earth as well as pulling slightly out sideways. Make sure these knees are turning slightly outwards so we're activating into the bum muscles. Hips are tucking under, shoulders are rotated into their sockets, and then we're going to scoop the energy up from the earth, pulling it up so our arms are being pulled high up into the sky, lengthening our whole body. And then we're just going to scoop down like a swan into our forward fold. Grab your ankles, pull your body towards your legs, sucking the belly up towards your spine. Place your hands on the floor, bending your knees, and send one leg back. Make sure that the straightened leg's bum is being active, so it's not chilling, it's squeezing. Then back into our plank position, down into our cobra. And then lift up. Make sure that your feet are pushing down on the ground and your sternum is being pulled towards the front of the room or in front of you. Tuck your toes, lift up into your downward facing dog. Take a step in if you need to try and get your feet flat. Make sure your shoulders are rotating into their sockets and then pushing away from you. And then we're going to walk the dog. 1 foot at a time, up and down. Keep your tummy lifted. Keep the arms pushing away from you. Go back into your downward facing dog and stretch. Left leg comes forward into that lunge position again. Drop your hip flexor towards the floor, keeping your legs active. Bring your right foot back up front. Lean forward into your forward fold. Try and straighten your legs and grab your ankles and pull your body towards your legs. Thinking about your sternum towards your shins. I'm going blank, guys. Then lift up. Feel your arms being pulled long, 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 long. And come back into your prayer position. Take a nice deep breath or two. And we start again. Feel like your hands are grabbing earth energy, pulling it up. Your arms are being pulled nice and long up towards the ceiling. And we swan dive down into our forward fold. Grab your ankles, suck your belly back, and pull your sternum towards your shins. Place your hands on the floor, bending your knees, and this time our left leg goes back. Make sure that this bum is active. Bend the other leg back, so you're now in your plank position. We go chaturanga down, keep the tummy strong. Down, down, down until we lift up into cobra. Feeling our sternum being pulled in front of us and our bum squeezing and our legs are pushing against the ground. Tuck the toes up into your downward facing dog. Take a step if you need to and walk the dog. Stretch out your downward facing dog. Right leg comes up to the front and we start dropping the left hip flexor down towards the floor, keeping our left bum working. So it's tense. I'm about to say it's chilling there. It's not chilling there. And up we come back into our standing position. Forward fold, pull your chest towards your shins. And up we come, scooping that earth energy up with us, pulling long, 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 long. And our hands come back into our prayer position. So we should be feeling nice and warm and ready for action. So, the next one, we're going to take that scoop of the energy. I'm going to go a bit slower to help us get through it. Scoop the energy up from the earth, pull your arms up long towards the ceiling, squeezing the bum, sucking the belly. And we swan dive down into our forward fold. Grab your ankles, suck your belly. Hold it. You can place your hands on the floor if you need to. Otherwise, you just take one foot back into a lunge position. Make sure these hips are staying squared and they don't skew with that leg going backwards. Suck the belly, lift. Keep this area nice and strong. Arms pulling up towards the ceiling, lifting in the arms so that even the scapulars lift up here. Keep tilting your hips forward. Turn sideways into our warrior two. Make sure these hips are again pushing forward, squeezing the bum, tucking the hips under. Arms are lengthened out. We're trying to create a 90 degree with our bent leg. Unless you've got long legs like me, and then you're a little bit wider than a 90 degree. Straighten both legs and go down into your triangle pose. Again, keep these hips pushing forward. Don't let the bum drop backwards. Push the hips forward. Should be feeling a nice stretch up the side of the body. Slowly come back up, and we then lean to the opposite side, taking our arm, scooping up and over towards the opposite wall. Pull, pull long. Again, another nice side stretch happening. And we come back, bringing our leg back into our lunge position. And then we're going to slowly start turning towards the back straightened leg, bending down so that we're dropping our bum towards the floor and stretching out the leg that was bent. Keep sucking your belly back, tucking your hips under. Keep breathing in and out, slow and steadily. Now we're going to lift up. You can place your hands on the floor to help you if you need to. And we're going to go over to the leg that was straight and now bend it and stretch out the other leg. I should have gone with right and left. Keep tucking your hips under, sucking belly backwards. You can place your hands on the floor again to help you up if you need to. And now we're going to the opposite leg. We're going into warrior. First we're going into warrior 2. Again, tuck the hips under. Make sure you're lifting in the quad muscle. Straighten both legs and go down into your triangle. Keep tucking your hips under. Up we come, and we start leaning backwards, scooping the energy up with us, pulling ourselves long so you're again getting a nice side stretch. Up we come again into our warrior 2 position, but twisting into warrior 1. Remember to keep tucking your hips under, lifting in the belly. You're going to step both feet together, coming down into your forward fold. Suck your belly up, try and straighten your legs and pull your sternum towards your shins. Slowly come up, scooping that energy with you and taking your arms up high into the sky. And come back into your prayer position. Hope everybody's remembering to keep breathing. Okay, from here, we're going to take I'm going to remember left and right this time. Everybody, left leg. So your right leg is rooting down into the ground. If you need to, you can have a slight bend to help stabilize you. Then the left leg is coming up. We make sure that the hips are tucked under and lift that left leg into the sky. We've got a 90-degree angle happening. That's all we're doing. We're holding this balance pose. If you feel quite stable, you can straighten your leg. You keep pushing your hips forward, and then we can take our hands up into the sky. Bring your hands down. And now keeping this left leg up, we're going to bring the ankle towards the right knee and start bending down into that pigeon kind of position. So if you're only happy just resting your elbows on your leg, you can do that. If you're happy going further, you take your hands onto the ground. Keep nice and stable in the land-based leg. Slowly come back up. Release the left leg. I'm going to send it back into our warrior 1 position. Arms up, pulling long. Make sure you're tucking these hips under. Nice and stable in the legs. We're going to scoop our hands down onto the floor next to that bent leg and then take the bent leg backwards. Making sure that our wrists, elbows and shoulders are in alignment. We're going to twist to the left hand, so we're on the left hand, the left foot, and you lift your hips and your right arm off the floor. Now, we're going to start twisting to touch the floor behind us. So the right arm twists around, touches the floor behind us, and comes back up. Guys, if you're struggling with this one, you can drop onto your elbow. Twist around, tap the floor, and come back up. Twist around, touch the floor, and come back up. Take your hand back onto the floor, back into that plank position. Drop your knees to the floor and lean back in your child's pose with your toes tucked under. Now it's like you're trying to drag your nose along the floor. So you take your nose leaning forward, you're now on the hold of your forearms. Lean forward into your cobra position. Push your hips towards the floor and your sternum is being pulled in front of you. When I say pulled, you get into cobra and you're sort of in a relaxed position here. When you squeeze your bum, push your hips forward, and then the sternum gets pulled forward. There's a slight difference, and it also takes a bit of pressure off the back. Come back onto your bum, onto your feet, into that child's pose. Let the arms stretch long. And again, it's like we're trying to drag our nose on the floor, leaning forward, keeping tummy lifted, and up we come into our cobra again. Make sure the tops of your feet are pushing down onto the floor gently, squeezing the bum, and back into our child's pose. And one last one, like you're trying to drag your nose along the floor, suck the belly up and up into cobra. Push the hips down, squeeze the bum, and feel your chest being pulled towards the wall or whatever's in front of you. Tuck your toes, lift up into your downward facing dog. Take a step forward if you need to. And we step our feet in front of us, back to a forward fold. Pull your sternum towards your shins and just hang for a moment. Sucking the belly up. And slowly come up to standing. And now we get to do all of that on the other side. Hopefully I remember it all. Okay, so now we're rooting down in our left leg. So you can bend the knee a little bit if it helps. Tuck the hips under. Make sure you're rooting nicely down as we lift the right leg up off the floor, trying to create a 90-degree angle here. Take the arms up into the sky, pulling long. Bring the arms down. Now the right knee comes onto the right ankle comes onto the left knee, and you come leaning forward into this pigeon kind of pose. If all you can do is get your elbows onto your shin, you keep them there. Otherwise, you lean all the way down towards the floor. Slowly we come up. Release that right leg and take it back into our lunge position. Whew. Take your arms up into the air, pull long, and then we come down and have our hands next to our bent leg. Send that bent leg backwards. Make sure your wrists, elbows, and shoulders are in alignment. And this time we go over to the right hand, lifting up high, arms being pulled up towards the ceiling. If this is too much for you, remember you can do it on your forearm. And then we twist under, touch behind you, and come back up. Twist, touching behind you, come back up. Twist, touching behind you, come back up. Place your hand on the floor, go into a downward facing dog, and then down onto your knees. Keeping your toes tucked, just to give the feet a bit of a stretch in this first one. Remember to keep breathing nice and deep. And here we go. So as if you're trying to drag your nose along the floor, keep the tummy lifted all the way forward into your cobra. Squeeze the bum. Feel the sternum being pulled forward. Also make sure your shoulders are pushing down and they're not sitting up at your ears. Come back into your child's pose position. I'm just shimmying a little bit back because I'm getting close to the wall. And here we go again. Like you're dragging your nose along the floor, lifting the belly all the way forward into your cobra, pushing your hips forward, shoulders down, sternum being pulled towards the wall, or whatever's in front of you. The tops of your feet are gently pushing down into the ground. And up we come again into our child's pose. And here we go again, one last time. Like you're trying to drag your nose along the floor, lifting the belly, and up you come into your cobra, squeezing your bum forward, pulling the sternum forward. And you can come back up onto your bum this time and take a moment to just breathe. If you need a sip of water, feel free to have a sip. Got a little bit more hard work for you to do before you can chill completely. Okay, so again, if you find these exercises where you're on your straight arm, just go onto your forearm. You can build up strength as you get there. So we're going to come back into this position where we've got our hands and our elbows and our shoulders are all stacked up on top of each other. Take one leg backwards behind you and then the other. We're going to roll towards the left hand and the left foot. The right hand comes up into the air and you're going to start dropping your bum towards the floor. Doesn't touch the floor, comes back up. Down and up. 3 and up. 4 and up. 5 and up. Come back onto your hands, both hands. You can come onto your knees if you need a short break. Then straighten. We go over to the right hand and the right foot. Left hand is in the air. We drop our bum towards the floor and up. Floor and up. Floor and up. 4 up. 5 up. Hands onto the floor, down into your hands and knees, and sit in child's pose for a moment. Remember to take nice deep inhalations, getting some oxygen going through your body. You can come and sit on your bum. I'm going to give you a bit of a break before we do the last round on the arms. Okay, so straighten out your legs in front of you. Make sure that these legs are gently pushing down into the ground. These quads should be activating just a little bit. And you're tucking your hips under, lifting in the belly. Your feet are flexed, arms being pulled up high, high, high. So even the lats are activating as they get pulled long. Imagine you've got a ball in front of you and you're lifting up and over that ball, grabbing at your feet. You want to again imagine that your sternum is being pulled towards your feet as opposed to your head. Pull long. You can also grab your ankles, your shins, wherever you can. Try and go a little bit deeper. And release. We're going to bring one knee up towards our chest, trying to bring your foot in as close as you can. And then we're going to lean past the knee to try and get our arm around. But you can also just have your hand on the floor. But if you can, twist and grab, you can do that. Baby move is just relaxing here, leaning forward, more advanced, twist and grab. Keep sucking your belly backwards. And slowly release. Now we're going to take this leg, the bent knee, up into our lotus position. If you can. If you're also still baby, you can place your foot into your thigh or next to your knee, and you're going to lift again up and grab your foot. And if you're in lotus, you're doing exactly the same thing. Make sure that you're squeezing your knee down towards the ground. Again, sternum towards shin, not your head towards your shin. Keep breathing nice and steadily. And slowly come out and we swap legs. So now we bend the other leg up towards our Foxy bonnet or gentleman bonnet. If you can, or babies, you lean forward and you just bring your chest trying to get towards your shin, and your arm is just pushing against this knee. More advanced, you wrap your arm around into a bind and you lean forward, trying to keep this leg straight on the floor so you're activating the quad muscles. Steady breathing. Gently release. And again, the baby version would be foot into the inner thigh or the knee, and then more advanced, your lotus position. And we lean. We get pulled up long and then lean forward and grab your foot. The bent knee, if you're in lotus, is pulling down towards the floor. Slowly come up. Okay, so we're going to do, I don't want to lie to you, okay, we're going to do one more round of the side planking exercises. So this next one is a little bit challenging because we're trying to get into the medial line, which is sort of working from the knee up the inner thigh up into our tummy. So it's a nice deep core muscle that hides. So don't be discouraged if you're super weak in this exercise, because a lot of us aren't actually working our medial lines. Okay, so instead of doing the whole long shebang to get to where we need to, I'm coming straight into it, placing my hand a little bit away from me so I've got a bit of an angle. Let me get better on my mat. My legs are straight away from me, and I'm going to lift up, making sure that my top leg is actually on the floor. So lift up, top leg is actually on the floor. Okay, From here, you can use your top hand to just hold your waist and the bottom leg lifts up. Then straighten it in front of you and bend. Keeping lifted, straighten up in front of you and bend. Straighten up and bend and place it back on the floor. Let's twist to the other side. Whew. Making sure that the top foot is the one that's pressing on the floor. Bottom leg comes up and straighten out in front of you, keeping lifted and bend. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. And come back to your plank position. We're going to do one last mean one. Okay, so make sure you're lifted in the belly, shoulders are rotated in, your elbows stay close towards you. You're going to go down into chaturanga, but you're not going down into the floor. You're just hovering just above it. And push up into your upward facing dog. And come back onto your knees. Okay, that was the hardest work done, I promise. Do I promise? Don't. I don't know. Okay, so now we just got into the medial line and all these other scary places, but we're feeling super warm, so it's the perfect time to get into our log position. You're going to find that very possibly you're going to feel a little bit more mobile in the hips. So make sure your ankle and your knee are in alignment, and then your other ankle and knee get stacked right on top of the other two. Lift in the tummy, tuck the hips under, and start leaning forward. Oh yeah, this is much easier now that we're nice and warm. And you keep leaning and crawling your hands a little bit more forward as you feel a little bit more comfortable. I say a little bit, it's legit. This log position can be a bit mean on the hips. So like iterative little movements to get yourself down slowly but surely. Remember to breathe. The more you breathe, the more you trick your body into relaxing. Keep breathing. Keep trying to drop a little bit deeper into your log pose. Try closing your eyes and imagining pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. And slowly we're going to come up to torture the other side. Wow. Very slowly swap your legs around. Again, trying to get the knee and the ankle in alignment, and then the other ankle and knee get stacked right on top again. Tuck the hips under, suck the belly back, and lean forward slowly but surely. It's okay if you find that one side is a little bit tighter than the other. There's usually one. Breathing and trying to relax your body into the position. Try and go a little bit deeper. And very slowly we come up again. Oh, okay. So we haven't practiced cool things like headstands. So the nice thing is that you guys are at home. So you've got couches and walls and whatever the weather to help you. And obviously if you fall over, there's no one else to laugh at you as you fall. Peter, I think you're there. You know how to do your headstands nicely. So you go forth and be merry. Everyone else, especially if I've got some of my newbies here, we're going to start off with just sort of feeling the arm strength, and we might not get into actual headstands today. So you come onto your hands and knees, and then we're going to go down into our forearms, and you're trying to think about the forearm in line with the elbow in line with the wrists. So you're straight out, hands are planted nicely in front of you, and you're tucking your hips under, sucking your belly up. And then we're just going to first lift up, keeping the knees bent, and then feel your arms being pushed forward and then pushing backwards. Pushing forward, pushing backwards. Make sure you're lifting in the armpits and that you're not sinking and trying to go forward and backwards. You're lifting, sternum lifts backwards. You push back and push forward. Push back, push forward. Push back, push forward. Push back and hold. Come forward and hold. Keep lifting in the tummy. The knees down on the floor, and you can go into your pose of a child for a little bit, stretching out the arms. And you can come back up onto your hands and knees. Now you're going to bring your hands together and interlace your fingers. What often helps, just to make you not more stable, but it is more stabilizing, make sure that your hands can grip your elbows, and that's a nice position to then open up, interlace your fingers, and now you've got a nice triangle happening with your arms. Again, we are probably just going to keep pushing into the muscle side of this, so don't jump ahead into a headstand if you've never done it before. Okay, so we want to feel the sternum lifting up and down with this exercise. So you're keeping your tummy lifted, hips are tucked under, your shoulders lift, and then the sternum drops forward. Shoulders push down, and sternum drops forward. Shoulders push down, sternum drops forward. Shoulders push down, sternum drops forward. So you can feel we're just lifting up and down, getting strength in the shoulders. Up and down, up and down. Now you can take your head into your hands on the floor, finding a position sort of just here on the crown of it. So you don't want to be on your forehead, and you don't want to go back onto this, you know where babies are super soft? You don't want to go into that point. You're just sort of where my hair is actually. It's probably about there. Get your head on the floor and your hands are wrapped around your head. You're pushing down and you're just lifting your legs up and you're pushing down on the arms. So essentially your head isn't even pushing down into the ground. It's just kind of resting there. And drop the knees back down. Keeping your arms lifted. So we're not in that collapsed position where the sternum's down. We're pushing down, pushing the sternum up. Legs lift up and back down. Legs lift up and back down. Legs lift up and back down. This time we're going to hold it. Legs back up. Make sure you're lifting in these arms nicely. And come back down. You can come sitting and relax. Whew. Okay, so that's as far as we're going to go for the newbies. I hope everyone who can played with their headstand for a bit. And I'm going to stretch our arms a little bit after getting a little bit of work happening in them. So we grab our hands under our knees, tuck the hips under, feel like our whole lower back and middle back is being pulled away from us, and then we hold onto our knees so that we're pulling our body away from our knees, but our hands are holding on tight. So you feel a nice stretch happening up the back and across the shoulders. And release. Whew. Then we're going to interlace our fingers, tell our hands to turn the other way around, lift them up towards the ceiling, pulling long. Make sure your hips are tucking under, belly is lifted. Now our hips are going to pull to one side as our arms go in the opposite direction, giving us a nice side stretch, but we want to keep lifted up over a ball and to the other side. Lift long in the arms, up and over that ball, and let the hips twist to the opposite direction of the arms. And come back up. Okay, so we're going to go onto our hands and knees again, where we do threading of the arms. So you place one hand nice and stable on the floor, and the other hand needles through to bring the shoulder onto the floor. Oh, my hearing aid's getting in the way there. Then your hand that was pushing up lifts up over your head, pulling long, and make sure these feet are pushing gently into the ground. Then they're not just like flailing around out here. Just gently push them down. Keep your tummy lifted. Remember to breathe. Take the arm that's stretched up above your head back into position, push up and swap sides. So now your other hand is pushing into the floor, you needle through between where your hand and your leg is onto the floor, hand stretches up over your head, make sure you tuck your hips under and these legs are pushing down into the earth. Slowly come undone. We're going to work with our halasana again, and again my new favorite one is actually feet against the wall, or if you've got a couch that is against a wall so it's not going to push away from you, you can use your couch to push your feet up against. And it really feels so nice on the lower back when you push your feet against something, and it's just, you'll feel it. Opens up the lower back so much deeper than just a everyday halasana. So you want to have a bit of space between your head and the wall, all depending on how long your legs are, so you might have to gauge a bit. And push down on your head to lift your shoulders and then drop them further down, and then you can drop your body back onto the floor. Hands on the floor, you're going to use your hands to push yourself up into halasana. Suck the belly down towards the floor, tuck the hips under, and then we lift up. And if you've got your wall, pop your feet on the wall. Suck your belly back and push your feet into the wall so that you feel this opening of the lower back. It's so sublime. And just try and breathe and relax here. Don't go into tension on the neck. Just chill. And slowly come out. And we're going to start rolling our backs. So we want to think about really tucking the hips under, sucking belly back towards our spine, and you just roll backwards, keep rounded and forwards. Backwards, keep rounded and forwards. Backwards, keep rounded and forwards. Keep rounded, backwards. Keep rounded, forwards. There we go, that was that. So you can come up onto your bum now, and we're bringing our feet in for our Baddha Konasana. You can interlace your fingers around your toesies. Your feet are pushing together and your heels are as close to your Forksy bonnet and gentleman bonnet as you can get. You squeeze your bum so that the knees are pulled down further. Tuck the hips under, suck the belly, and feel this lifting in the sternum as you pull forward towards your toesies. Again, think about your sternum pulling towards your toesies as opposed to your forehead. Remember to breathe. Try and pull yourself a little bit deeper. And slowly come out. Yeah, so we're going to just do one last little bit of torture. And it's getting our tummies working, because strong tummies look after our whole body. Yay. Okay, so lie on your back. I think I did these yesterday morning as well. So I'm sorry if I'm repeating for some of you. It's always good to practice though. So we're tucking our hips under, making sure that the whole of our spine is pulling down against the floor. Legs lift up into their 90-degree kind of positioning. And you're pulling these tummy muscles down. You're pulling so that your muscles up top here between your ribs is pulling nice and hard, as well as your lower tummy just above your Forksy bonnet and your gentleman bonnet. Then you send one leg away from you, keeping these guys pulling down towards the floor. And swap legs, keeping these guys pulling down towards the floor. So your whole spine stays put on the floor. And swap. Keep pulling your spine down towards the floor. The tummy should be burning. And swap. And swap. And swap. And relax. Pull your knees towards your chest. Suck your belly down towards the floor to help you get your knees even closer towards your armpits. From here, you're going to grab your toesies and you're going to start pulling your legs straight so that your bum lifts off the floor. You're straightening your legs, you're sucking your belly down, and then you're pulling your bum back away. You're pulling your bum down towards the floor, but you don't want it to go onto the floor. So instead of sitting up here pulling, you're pulling your bum down. Your legs are coming towards your sternum, but your bum doesn't drop down onto the floor. Keep breathing. And slowly come up. Ooh. If you have derobed during our process, pop on your clothes, get nice and cozy and warm again. I'll give you a few moments to get comfy. You can sit or lie down for our meditation. Let's begin. Take a deep, deep, deep breath in and exhale with a sigh. Deep, deep, deep breath in. Exhale with a sigh. Last, deep, 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 deep breath in. Exhale with a sigh. And feel your whole body melting into the floor. Feel your muscles in your legs just give way and relax into the floor. Your bum relaxes into the floor. Your arms, your back, your chest, your head just melt into the floor. As you breathe in, you pull in the soft, pinky, marshmallowy feeling. It's just gooey and delicious. And this feeling starts spreading throughout your entire body. So much so you can almost taste marshmallows in your mouth. Everything just feels soft and gooey. You pay attention to your chest rising and falling as you breathe in and out. And today we're going to imagine ourselves venturing in to a fun land. This is the fun land inside your own imagination, so it can literally look like anything that is fun and weird and glorious and exciting for you. You could imagine roller coasters, candy floss, maybe a candy floss machine that you get to man. Maybe there are clowns, gymnastics going on. Maybe it's in the clouds. Whatever your imagination can conjure up. And you are going to disappear into this fun land, doing something that brings your heart absolute glee. Imagine what it feels like to be doing this activity, what your skin might be feeling, the smell, the taste. What emotions would you be feeling during this activity? Find yourself drifting, keep coming back to your fun land, back to the amazing fun that you're creating for yourself. What activities you'd be up to. And take yourself over to a different activity, something else you would have loved to have played at. Maybe venture even to eat something that you would have loved to have eaten at a fun land. And finish up this last activity. It's time to start our way out of this fun land, but hold on to that fun energy, that childlike fun that you've just been pulling into yourself, and let it swirl around your entire being. Feel this childlike fun energy settling throughout your whole body. And you take a nice deep breath in and slowly exhale. And another deep, deep, deep breath in and slowly exhale. And one last deep, 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 deep breath in. And as you exhale, you start wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Give your body one last stretch, feeling it being pulled long. And when you're ready, you can come up and sit with me. And we're just going to do one Om. So you can have your hands on your legs or into your heart center. Deep breath in. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I hope you had a good time.